So the Regulation H rule set was announced earlier today, and I'm here with the homies, LukeyVGC and Multiboy. Say hello, Lewis and Luke.
Yeah, hi, I'm Lewis.
Luke.
Hey, all Scoots viewers. I'm Luke. Nice to be you all.
Very nice, very nice. Yeah, so as you guys can see here, the Regulation H rule set was announced earlier today, and it looks like an incredibly exciting format, at least to me. Essentially, all the Paradox Pokemon, Treasures of Ruin, and Legendary Pokemon will be ineligible. So we are basically playing on what a lot of people are calling Regulation A++. This is just the regional decks for Paldea, Kitakami, and the Blueberry Academy. So it's looking pretty exciting. I'll pull up the list here of all the new Pokemon, or at least the legal Pokemon, I should say. So yeah, it's looking super interesting. Obviously we've lost a lot of the powerhouse Pokemon, things like the Genies, both Urshifu forms, of course. Obviously all the restricteds are also banned. And yeah, just like a lot of the mons that have been really good and dominant Pokemon, like Fluttermane are gone, Roaring Moon's gone, Raging Bolt. So yeah, I guess if you boys can give me a quick like 10-second summary of your thoughts so far on the Regulation H rule set.
So basically, I think it's going to be. I think there won't be as many centralized in teams, but there'll be like a very common like duos or trios of Pokemon. Like Dondozo seems really strong. Like the whole Mouse Ape stuff. There's also Snow Spam.
Got a bit of balance too.
Balance, yeah.
Yeah, the rain stuff with Arch Pelly.
Yeah, like Arch Pelly Basculegion, I think is looking pretty good. Is there any other, like, I guess, things off the top of your head that instantly you guys look at and just think that's insane?
Amoonguss, Rilla.
I mean, you know, the standard balance, you just sub out Urshi for Palafin.
Yeah.
Look, staples of the VGC.
Yeah, like I will say, obviously the return of Palafin to me is really cool, right? Because obviously, you know, for the first 3 regulations, it was probably the best water type. And then obviously we had Urshi coming in Reg D, Water Ogerpon came in Reg E, and they kind of took over as the 2 best water types in the game. And they both kind of made it irrelevant. And then any chance, I guess, Palafin ever had of returning was kind of ruined the second Raging Bolt entered the game. But yeah, obviously all 3 of them now no longer available, so I think that's gonna be pretty cool. We've got like the list of like the newly usable mons here. I'll quickly scroll down. Let me know, I guess, like of these Pokemon, which ones do you think will be the most, let's just say like the most impactful, right? Because obviously we've played on Regulation A before. I do have some tournament results as well we can look at shortly for, you know, the early Reg A tours. But yeah, I guess of the new Pokemon that came in the DLC, I guess which ones do you guys think will be the most impactful? At least, you know, when looking at that, you know, the regional decks.
I think probably the ones that come to mind first are probably the weather setters. So maybe like Ninetales, both forms, even maybe Politoed.
Do you think Politoed will, like, how good do you think it will be, I guess? Because obviously we had Pelipper. Do we think it will contest Pelipper now, or do we think Pelipper's still just going to be the better rain setter of the 2?
Pelly is better, because like being able to hit grass types is like the main weakness of going rain, right?
Yeah,
when you're
that's very true. Yeah.
Same types. Even like Arch can't really hit the grass types well.
Yeah, that's true. Another big thing as well, I guess, I was talking to some of the guys on Discord earlier. Obviously, we kind of briefly mentioned it before, but Dondozan and Palafin definitely look like 2 of the premier, I guess, water types in the format, or just Pokemon in general. How do you guys think Ludicolo is going to go? Obviously, 4X resists both of them. You know, we have seen in the past Dondozo running moves like Earthquake, which also Ludi does resist. We could also see Terra Grass be quite common as well. So like I could see a world where Ludi with like Water Grass and Ice coverage could have a really good matchup into some of these top teams.
Yeah, I think Ludicolo could definitely do good on a rain team. I think its only problem is I'm pretty sure it lost Gold.
Yeah, so it did. But I'm pretty sure Hydro Pump is its best move off memory. In terms of like
Muddy Water.
Are you clicking?
Better, right?
Yeah, probably, right. So you're looking there. It's like Muddy Water, or it's like Pump, right? Like you're not running anything else on that. It's like pretty fictional, but yeah, like maybe like Muddy Water, Ice Beam, and then like what's its best grass? You go on like Energy Ball, or like Giga Drain on this thing.
Yeah, Grass Knot or Energy Ball.
Energy Ball, I'm pretty
sure. Because yeah, I don't think Grass Knot probably isn't that good in a non-restricted format, right? Like unless it just nukes Dozo, I don't know. I'd have to double check that. But yeah, I could like see a world where like Assault Vest Ludi in this current format is actually pretty good. Like it seems like it will match up into a lot of the mons that are pretty good. You know, at least at first glance, obviously we'll have to wait and see how things unfold. But it's definitely a mod I think is pretty interesting right now. I just want to see here too. Like, I don't. Do you guys think Volbeat Illumise see any play? They're probably just outclassed by the other Tailwind setters, right?
There might be some niche they have. Let me look at
Because
it.
are they like Haze? Because like I guess that's like a big thing we need to look at as well, right? Does
I mean,
Murkrow have
Mercury
competition
Haze.
for like Prankster Haze?
Now they don't get
Nah,
haze.
yeah. So
mean,
I
they got
guess that's like
Encore.
they do
They
get
get
Encore,
Encore, I'm pretty sure, right?
but
Yeah.
at that stage you just run Whimsicott, right? Like I think that's kind of the
Yeah.
issue there. Milo's another super interesting one as well, actually, because again, with the water type being like not as locked into just like Urshi anymore, I could definitely see a world where like you know, the Coil Hypno Milo is actually pretty good because it also gives you a way to sleep a Moongus and whatnot, which is pretty good. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Hypno goes through goggles, right?
Yeah.
Oh
It does.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's like I could see a world where like this is your play. Because it got Muddy Water back too, right? I think in like the DLC. Because I think
I mean,
DLC.
Came out in DLC.
No,
didn't it?
no, no. I think Muddy Water was DLC 2. I'm pretty sure. Because I remember talking to Ice about it, how he was like upset that it lost Muddy Water. But I'm pretty sure it got Muddy Water in DLC 2. But by the time it got that back, it was just kind of outclassed by everything. But yeah, I could see a world where like it's probably something like this, right? Just like lefties, like probably something like this, competitive as well, in a world where like Insin's good, and then you probably just go for something like Terra Grass. So you can.
I think Dragon they even ran. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dragon's actually. I mean, and that's something else to talk about as well, right? We literally have like no really good fairy types. Like I think there's a lot of decent fairy types and fairies that'll definitely see play. But like we no longer have Fluttermane, which I mean for the entirety of its existence was basically, well, it has always been the best fairy type. I don't think it's been outclassed by another fairy type that wasn't like what Terra Fairy, Cali Shadow. But yeah, like Prim's probably pretty good. Sylveon's pretty good. Maybe Guardy sees some play. Obviously Ninetales is a thing now, but like, yeah, do you guys think there's like any, like, do you see a fairy type just being better than the rest, or do we think it's going to be just a pretty average typing here?
I think Primarina is probably the best one.
I was looking at Prim because it has like Calm Mind and shit, and like Calm Mind's pretty good.
You also get Hyper Voice, like Water type Hyper Voice if you want.
Yeah, and then I think it also gets like Moonblast, obviously. So you're probably running something like this, and then like Lefties or Cloak probably. That would be like my assumption, and then you just go like Liquid Voice, obviously. And I mean, look, it hits pretty hard on the special end. Obviously we did lose a lot of our big physical attackers as well. So I could definitely see a world where like Primarina plus like Insin, for example, is like really good. Especially on like some of those balance teams where like you pair it with like, you know, Insin, Garcerilla or something like that. And, yeah, and then you just like you pivot some fake outs, you know, you get some Intimidates out, maybe a slide Pollen Path, and the next thing you know, a +2 Prim's just like running through teams. Because in this format as well, like when you look at the heavy hitters, like they're a lot lower than before, right? Like obviously, you know, we still have the absolute beast that is Bloodmoon Ursaluna, but you know, outside of like Bloodmoon and probably Golden Go, I don't really think any of these special attackers here are like anything too insane in the current format. Like definitely Armarouge and Archaludon will have some play, but yeah, and actually, I guess a great segue too is Hydreigon. How do you guys think Hydreigon's gonna go? As we said, not too many, you know, insane fairy types right now, and it has some pretty good matchups in the regional decks.
Yeah, it did perform well, I'm pretty sure, in Reg A when it first came out. But it's a bit hard to say because I think with some of the new add-ins, is Dark type needed? Like if something like Incineroar is taking that Dark type, like I don't know, is it as good?
I think the other thing is it's competing with some of the other dragons. So you have like D-Knight as well as Arch potentially now on like the Rain.
I guess before we like segue, that is definitely something to talk about is the dragon type, because obviously it feels like a typing that is going to be really good, obviously, right?
Yeah.
You know, we discussed that, you know, there's no longer Fluttermane. It really doesn't feel like there's that one insanely good fairy type, I guess. But before we move on from that as well, so this is the results from the Taiwan regional last year. I believe this was the first event we had on Regulation A. And there was actually 4 Hydreigons in the top 4. So it goes to show the mon's pretty good. You can see it, you know, quite a bit down the page here as well. There's quite a lot of Hydreigons. Obviously, this is before the DLC was dropped. You know, we didn't have mons like that Primarina. But it does show that when there's, you know, no insane fairy types, obviously this mon's pretty good. And, you know, Fluttermane definitely kind of invalidated it. But I could definitely see a world where Hydreigon actually, you know, makes a bit of a comeback.
Yeah. Definitely. And looking at some of those results, there was multiple dark types. So there was Masquerada and the Hydreigon in some of them. They even had
Crow, like triple dark here, double dark here.
So that's something to maybe you know, obviously Scythe Spam is a kind of core that could also do really well if there's not that many terrain control. Like probably Rillaboom is the main other one. So which now exists, whereas previously it didn't. So it may be harder, I suppose, to always guarantee your psychic terrain now. So that's a bit tricky. Obviously, probably coming back to the whole talking about like hypnosis stuff, because there's not really a good way to remove or prevent, I suppose, sleep. That I think would be a very strong status, whether that's through Spore or even like hypnosis, as we said earlier.
Yeah, I mean, look, Gus is Gus, right? It's always going to be one of the centerpieces on these balanced teams, and especially in a format now where Miraidon doesn't exist anymore, so we don't have that one mon that is obviously just Spore immune. Obviously, it looks like we could have some more knockoff mons as well. Obviously, Meowscarada in a format where Fluttermane doesn't exist. Obviously, we lose mons like Chenpao and that all naturally outspeed and one shot it. So that's another dark type I think we could definitely see rise back up. And when you've got these knockoff mons next to obviously next to the Amoonguss, then you can start knocking off things like safety goggles and really put the pressure on with Spore, which is definitely something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, you just get a pin a slot with knockoff Spore. It's great.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Does that mean we'll probably see more Terra Grass probably rise again?
100%. Especially again, we touched on it before, and we'll get into it more as we go on. But I think Dozo and Palafin are going to be arguably the two best mons in the format, or at least they're going to be right up there as very consistent mons you're going to see a lot of. They're both water types. Palafin normally just runs water coverage. And of course, Dondozo will run what? It'll run its water coverage. Potentially Earthquake, depends on how, I guess, high, the usage on Rillaboom is. But then you're looking at probably Terra Blast order up, right? So I could definitely see a world where, especially if they are going Terra Grass Dozo, that, a defensive Terra Grass is obviously going to be really good. But I will transition as well. Obviously, Lewis, you said before that, the Dragon types are obviously looking really good. And again, the lack of fairy types means, these guys in particular at the top of this list are looking really good. Are there any in particular you think are going to make a big, I guess, a big impact on the metagame?
I think Arch is just going to be the clear winner here. Just with Rain, and, it's just so bulky. There's not really... The fighting types are pretty limited now.
Yeah,
just get Ape and, maybe the Tauros stuff.
Yeah, because I think off memory, I do think Komodo is going to be one of the better ones. But I mean, when you look at this list here, as you said, right, Komodo, Ape, I mean, Blaziken's probably not going to be good.
I don't think it's going to be good in Rain matchup.
Yeah, we have the poor man's we have the poor man's Urshi here.
Poor man Urshi, yeah.
I mean, Sneasler, maybe Conk. I am kind of scared of Flamigo because we're going to see some more of the cheese stuff with Co-Star. One of the ones I mentioned earlier in Discord was the Alolan Muck Smeargle stuff, where you just kind of minimize Moody and then you just get your Flamigo into just seal its buffs, which could be kind of scary. But obviously I think, with Dozo being so good, Haze will definitely rise up. But yeah. We kind of are lacking, really good fighting types, right? Maybe Lilligant will be pretty good on Sun.
Maybe Hariyama by itself doesn't seem that terrible. Depends,
Yeah, I mean, look, as a Trick Room mon, it's probably pretty decent. It's just Iron Hands without the bulk. So
budget Iron Hands, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it is, but
we got the poor man Ursh, we got the poor man Iron Hands.
Yeah, dude, we're just gonna replace him with the other top ones. But yeah, I guess going back to the Dragon types, obviously, Lewis, you touched on Baxcalibur being pretty good. You did mention D-Knight. I guess, what do you think D-Knight does in this format? Because I do have a little idea for where I guess it could shine, but I'm curious. I guess what you think will make it so good.
I think you can pair it with the balance stuff, and then just go D-Dance with Terra Flying.
Yeah, because
obviously with Inner Focus, when there's Sin really popular, it's really valuable.
Yeah, cause I guess to add on to that as well, when you look at, again, things like Palance, because I think everyone's assuming Palance is going to be really good, and we're going to see a lot of it, especially early in the format. Rillaboom can't really touch D-Knight. Palafin can't really touch D-Knight. Of course, Rillaboom, Incin, Amoonguss. They all can't really deal any damage to it. And as you said, with Terra Flying, Terra Blast, you're going to one-tap Amoongus's, you're going to probably one-tap Rillaboom's at +1. And of course, you're going to just do a lot of damage to a lot of these other mons. So it's definitely a mon I see pairing really, really well, especially as a D-Dancer. But I could also see a world where we see some of those Shedtail teams come out again, because Garchomp is also another big winner. I think it's probably the best ground type in the game right now. And you know, we've seen teams like D-Knight, Garchomp, Earthworm in the past. And I could definitely see a world where, you know, you pass a Shed Child of D-Knight and then you just start spamming EQ next to it while it sets up. And of course, you know, spamming EQ next to Earthworm is like never a bad thing.
Yeah, I think the ground types are Ursaluna and then...
True, actually, I lied. I can't believe I just said it was the best ground type when the best one's probably going to be Bloodmoon Ursaluna, which, yeah. Alright. That was bad by me. I do apologize. But yeah, like, I think going back to fighting types, obviously, Hisui and Gudra, Iron Defense Body Press is probably going to be pretty decent. It's going to be interesting too, because with Urshifu not existing anymore, like, does this thing even need to run Shell Armor anymore? Like,
yeah, you could go Sap Sipper for the Amoonguss matchup.
Yeah, so, because yeah, like, obviously, you don't have to worry about Wicked Blow anymore. You don't have to look at things like Terra Fairy as much anymore as well. Like, it might still be good just because of the fighting weakness, and obviously the opposing dragons, but definitely something to keep an eye on. Also, another one I'm interested in is Salamence on these rain teams. Because again, you know, we kind of discussed it a bit before I think we started recording, but, you know, looking at some of these rain teams where it's going to be, you know, things like Pelipper, you know, Palathin, right? One of the biggest issues the team is going to have is things like Amoonguss, right? And Special Salamence with Hurricane plus Intimidate seems pretty good, I think. Like, this one can do quite a bit of work in rain, especially with, like, Hurricane and, like, Draco Meteor. It's also, like, a mon where it is a decent Tailwind setter as well, especially when, like, we've just lost Tornadus. You know, obviously we still have things like Whimsicott. We still, you know, obviously Murkrow is probably going to be a thing again. But yeah, I feel like Whimsicott kind of thrives more in these higher power formats. So I could definitely see a world where the priority Tailwind drops off. And, you know, Pokemon like Salamence could definitely rise up as a Tailwind setter.
I think the rain teams would much rather have Arch though. Like, it kind of feels bad for them doubling up on the Dragon, I think.
I mean, that is true. Obviously, Arch is pretty good. I guess it depends what kind of role you need it to fill, right? But yeah, look, I mean, look, Electro Shot in the rain is pretty good, especially when... I mean, do we have a good electric type right now?
Nah, they all suck.
Like, I'm pretty sure we had, like, 3 good electric types, and they all just got removed, right? Like, I mean, that's like, it's Rotom, right?
Maybe Rotom.
Even Rotom isn't even, like...
Yeah, I mean, and look, Raichu's bad without other ones. Like, maybe it's Vikavolt. Do we start seeing, like, Vikavolt with regular Ursaluna? Like, I know I talked that up a lot when it first got released. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, Rotom Water kind of seems like our best electric type in the format right now, which is, yeah, definitely kind of feels bad, man, I guess, for the electric type.
First Magnezone maybe could be okay, but I don't know.
What's electric type? Archlodon.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is literally it. Put it in rain. That's your best electric type in the format. Like, this thing, it hits so hard. You need like 0 investment. Just this is your guy. Slap an AV on him. Yeah, you've sold me, Lewis. You've sold me. Like, this is it. This is the guy. Also, like, I think something else as well. I kind of just like realized looking at that as well is speed in this format looks really interesting because what are you trying to outrun, right? Like, when you look at these top threats, like, do we think Dragapult's going to be a good mon? Like, obviously, no Fluttermane means it's, you know, it feels a lot better now. The fairy types aren't too insane. I guess having a physical ghost type is not bad because we do need ways to hit Annihilate. But realistically, like, does it care? Like, it's probably just going to be like next to a Maushold that's redirecting you.
I think Pulse actually, it could be quite good because it's really good into like the balance core with like Rilla, Incin stuff.
Oh, like what?
U-turn.
Yeah, so what you're thinking, like a banded set, right? Like U-turn, D-Dart, and stuff like that.
Yeah, or 3 attacks with like U-turn.
Yeah, and then what? Are you going like?
Stuck.
Are you going like Terra Blast, Terra Ghost, or? This thing doesn't get Poltergeist, right? Yeah, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. That would be broken.
Yeah, well, you know, a boy can dream. Yeah, boy can dream. But yeah, I mean,
Phantom Force isn't that the other?
Yeah, you have to Phantom Force, Power Herb Phantom Force with it, and then that's your Urshifu right there.
Yeah, I mean, look, I definitely see a world where Pult's good, right? It's a quick mon. I'm pretty sure Adamant Pult outspeeds Meowscarada as well, which basically means like what else is actually threatening it? Like, I don't think Weavile's seeing play. Like, yeah, like it honestly looks like it could probably just run Adamant and not care, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
and it can go a bit more bulky, maybe. I don't know, like what speed it hits.
It hits, yeah, 194, which again, you don't even have to hit that, right? You can go like Adamant or something like that. And then just like, I don't know, invest in bulk. I mean, like 162 itself is still pretty fucking quick, eh? You probably don't even need all this investment in bulk. But I guess
Yeah.
one thing I also saw there as well, I want to bring up. How do you guys feel about Talonflame? Obviously, you know, I kind of mentioned before lack of priority Tailwind setters. Whimsicott is probably the premier Tailwind setter, and this is a pretty good one into Whimsicott. Just frag it before it does anything. Kind of force it to Terra turn 1.
I think Talonflame, like, it's one of its main kind of goes is like it can get that first priority move with the Gale Wings, but like I'm a bit worried. Like in a Incineroar meta, it's kind of a bit maybe would be worse. It's hard to say.
Yeah, I think its best thing is just being able to click Will-O-Wisp.
I mean, I'm sure you could see something like this be good, right? Because, you know, it also gets a roost, I think. Like, even if, you know, even if you're not intending for this mon to, you know, like, obviously you've got the priority Tailwind if you need it, but I'm sure something like Will-O-Wisp Roost on, like, a bulky set is still going to be pretty good, because, again, the metagame doesn't look quick. Like, you know, sure, we can talk about things like Dragapult, Meowscarada, but, like, when you look down the list, like, what of these faster mons are actually going to be good? Like, maybe Superior, but it probably builds bulky. Jumpluff on Sun may be good. Hisuian Zoroark is actually another mon as well, I think could be pretty good as well. It has a really good matchup into Mouseape. Mouseape literally can't touch this mon on lead. So it's pretty good there. And I'm sure it probably has some other like pretty decent matchups as well. Pretty quick for the format, good focus sash holder. But yeah, I guess is there any other like interesting mons you guys want to like talk about before I start just going through the list of all returning mons?
I think another like potential good mon is Volk.
Volcarona?
It's a lot, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, Volcarona in the format, right? It obviously is it's a bit of a setup beast. Yeah, it's like Quiver Dance is it's a pretty broken move.
Yeah, if there's just up a few Quiver Dances, that could just start sweeping. Like,
And with like Terra Gross, Giga Drain, you heal like infinite. It's really good into Palafin with Flame Body Terra Gross.
Yeah, same with Dozo as well. You kind of just like that wallet, right? If they like the only thing you would really care about is like Terraflying Dozo, which is definitely something we're gonna have to talk about because you know, as we saw in earlier formats, Dondozo is a mon that kept changing its sets because you know people would start countering it. And then yeah, they'd find a way to counter the counter, right? Like, you know, we started seeing like Skelly-Dirges go Terra Grass to beat it. Obviously then it's like we're going Terra Flying beats Skelly, it beats a Moongus. Yeah, there's a, you know, it's gonna be really interesting to see how it plays out, I guess. Yeah. Back to this. Sorry, Luke, what were you gonna say?
I was just saying, like, Dondozo's Terra is very interesting. Like, that's something that will definitely evolve. Like, Grass seems like at the start seems the best, but then it's like, is it flying? Is it steel to block like for Clismog or Haze or something else? So
well, you can't block Haze, can you?
No, you can't block Haze, but
like, does sub block Haze? It doesn't either, right?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
That's why I don't know if you can actually get away with Dozo, because if Palafin gets really popular, it's actually really easy to just stop it with fake out Haze.
Well, I mean, that's the other thing as well, right? Haze is like, the thing with Palafin is you only really need 3 move slots, right? You want Jet Punch, you want Wave Crash, you want Protect. That last move kind of does whatever. Yeah. And it feels so easy just to say that last move is gonna be Haze, right? I'm just gonna make sure that like I've got a Moongoose, I've got Palafin, I'm just never losing to a Dondozo team.
It's also good into the Iron defense stuff.
If you true. Yeah. You start
trying to set up the entire game. Yeah, and it's like, okay,
just keep hazing him away. Just side pollen path, redirect with the Amoongus. Yeah, 100%. Going back down the list, you guys think Dusclops sees a return as like one of the premier Trick Room setters here, or
it could?
So.
I mean, it's pretty freaking good, right? Who was it? Who was its partner? It was the Bloodmoon stuff, right? Yeah, so yeah, Bloodmoon.
Yeah, Bloodmoon was really strong with it as well.
Yeah, because like I know we had the cheese where people were like side brick breaking, which could also be good because without Urshi, screens could definitely be on the rise again. So I think having like brick break text is like not bad, and then obviously like just you know getting a weakness policy like Terra Normal Bloodmoon Ursaluna is like obviously never a bad thing as well.
Yeah.
Also, just Will-O-Wisp is just good.
And really it also has Haze as well, I'm pretty sure. So
it does.
It has a lot of options. Like it's kind of pretty solid.
Yeah.
I think like the other Trick Room Pokemon, it's like Porygon-Z, I think is another new one.
Yeah,
that also
P2 is gonna run the Trick Room meta, I think.
Especially if we don't have much good fighting. Like
we don't
not really
we don't have good fighting types at all, man.
And this thing is bulky, like
I mean, it's fat as fuck. Like, you look at this, you don't even have to invest in defenses. Like, all of a sudden, this is like, what, 165, and this is like 170 something, or close to.
Yeah.
And then, like, you can literally just run, like, Modest with a download boost. If you hit it, fantastic. It's like, yeah, this mod's gonna be really good, dude. Like, what, you're probably running, like, Terra Blast, probably, like, Terra Ghost or something along those lines. Maybe, like, Ice Beam as a coverage move. And then just, like, Recover Trick Room. That's not Recover.
Ice Beam, maybe. Like, it just depends.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I
It
don't
depends
know.
what gets popular, but it's a mon that can definitely adapt, right? You just run something like this, run whatever defensive terror you need, slap on the coverage move of choice, and then yeah, this guy's gonna be an absolute beast. Obviously it's really good, really hard to deal with. And as we looked at it before, man, like the fighting types are so thin right now. Like don't get me wrong, Ape's a good fighting type, but I don't look at Ape and just say like, oh yeah, Ape beats P2. Like like it can deal some damage, but it probably has to set up twice before those drain punches are actually doing anything. And realistically as well, like we could see Terra Ghost get pretty good, and then you just, you wait for your time, you snipe the Ape, and it feels pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. Fighting types are looking thin. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like, what about my guy Infernape? Is he ever? He's probably not making a comeback, is he? Nah. What about Empoleon? Do we think like Emp with competitive could like do something here?
Just use your Milotic.
Yeah,
that's probably better.
You're probably onto something there. Conkeldurr as a fighting type is probably pretty interesting. It might be like the premier fighting type on the Trick Room teams, right?
My problem with Conk is it gets intimidated, which is something that Ape doesn't have to worry about.
I mean, they feel different niches, right? Like, I feel like Conk is like the mon that you're putting on Trick Room to deal a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Because like you're going like something like Flame Orb, right? But at that point, I mean, just use Ursaluna probably.
Yeah.
Like, if you go like Brave Nature or something, yeah, like it hits hard. Like, don't get me wrong, like this thing hits as hard as Ursaluna, but obviously it doesn't have I don't really think it has the ability just to remove mons with Facade quite like Ursaluna does.
Facade's really the big payoff of Ursaluna.
Yeah, I mean, look, Ursaluna's a pretty busted one, let's be real. What about, like, do you reckon Shandy? I think Shandy's like the biggest special attacker in the format in terms of just like raw damage. Probably not going to see any play. But, I mean, maybe it's like, is it like the best ghost type? Because I feel like we lost a lot of our special ghost types, right? I mean, Golden Go, actually.
I think you could see Chandelure do something, to be honest, because it's not actually that bad, the typing.
I mean, the problem with it is it's really bad into Instant. It's also just gets jet punched.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but you have Terra, so
yeah,
like, there's plays around it, but obviously, do you want to commit to that?
Yeah.
I agree. I definitely think Skeledirge is going to be interesting as well, looking at these special ghost types, because as we said, like Unaware Terra Grass looks really good into the Firewater Grass stuff, right? Like it's a mon that like it doesn't love Incin, of course, but like it's pretty good with Terra Grass into things like Palafin, into the Amoonguses, of course, and pretty good into Dozo as well. Any other mons here? Like, I think we kind of touched on Komodo. Do you guys see this thing getting much play?
I think it's probably pretty good.
I think it does.
Do we think Iron Defense is going to be better, or do we think it's going to go like the Clangorous Souls route?
So, if we looked at Reg E, Reg F, when it was more popular, right? It could see play in that format, which means it's probably going to see play in this lower powered format.
That's true, yeah. It's like this. It's like the same format, except you just took the legends we had out. So yeah,
and like, what if it's out against Fluttermane doesn't exist? So it's like
true. Like
it might not even have to go as hard on like the fairy counter. Like it probably still wants to, but it doesn't have to go maybe as hard into it.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Before they were just paired with Golden Go, right? It was like Golden Go plus Komodo balance, I think.
I think it was with the Sinistcha as well.
Yeah, Sinistcha was on the team as well.
What are you talking about? Because there was a few.
Because I forget exactly what we saw, but like, because they just had ways to beat Fluttermane, right? Like that was the whole thing. Like I think they had like even Mousehold at one stage for like the normal type redirection.
Did you have the P2 one with like Tinglu, Como?
Yeah. There was that P2 team as well. That one was pretty scary. I think that team had Gus on it as well, off memory. I think.
I don't remember. I know it had Goldengo. It ended up having Goldengo, Como, P2, Tinglu.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure it had Gus. Like, I'm almost certain it had Gus on it.
I I don't remember what.
Because like
I probably did. I can't remember.
I remember playing against someone at a regional. I think it was Nick actually. Nick Khan had it where he just like he set up Trick Room and he just like spoiled my whole team, and then you like set up on me.
What, he had Como?
Nah, I'm pretty sure he ran it that first regional after it won. It was like because it was the very first time I played Nick at a local, and I think that was the team. He beat me round 1 with it. And
I
then,
don't
like,
think he used that.
I feel like he did. I may be confusing him, but I'm pretty sure that was the first time I ever played Nick.
Wasn't he using the Glamora stuff?
No. This was like very first local of Reg D, of Reg E. Sorry, but anyway, we can move on. That's
okay.
It's not important. But I guess Bloodmoon Ursaluna. How do you guys feel about that?
Yeah, I think that's going to be very good.
Pretty good one.
Everyone's looking at it saying it's probably the scariest one in the format. Basically a restricted legend in its own right here.
Well, the thing is, Blood Moon is such a scary move. Like, you can think you're Ghost and ignore it, but no, its Mind's Eye just nukes you anyway. So that's
Yeah, look, we're definitely gonna see some games where this guy kind of just like runs through teams with like a set like this, right? It's gonna be like Lorb, Terra Normal, and it's gonna just start like fragging everything. It's pretty good mon, dude. You just like go like this, and yeah, it kind of just slaps.
like, it doesn't even necessarily need Trick Room. Obviously, it's better in a Trick Room mode, but
Oh,
I don't know.
it can thrive in a it can thrive in a balanced team as well. Like,
it can also be in Tailwind, especially with the slower Pokemon, right?
Yeah, true, right? You can probably run Modest now, yeah? Does Modest get you over Pult? I think, is Pult 407? No, Pult's like 2... I think... Yeah, sorry, you need 107 for Pult, right? Because I think it hits 113.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I
think it hits 113, yeah.
Yeah, 113, yeah. So, like, technically you don't have to be Pult, but, like, do you care if you don't have to be Pult? Probably not.
Nah, you're
no, because it's a Ghost type, and you're
not.
normal. So that's bad.
Like, you're definitely, rather than those, like, 10 points in speed, you're definitely taking, like, the 20 in special attack. So yeah, that's like, it's pretty good. Obviously we don't get the loyal 3. Is this like Sinister's time to shine, by the way? Like, I feel like the Teapot's probably going to be one of the better grass types as well, right?
Amoonguss, Incin.
I mean,
I feel like Amoonguss is just better.
Well, I mean, it's
kind of counters it.
It's more offensive though, right? Like, obviously it's pretty bad into Incin, but I feel like it beats the rest of those 5 water grass cores. It's a pretty nasty Calm Mind one as well.
I think into like those like Trick Room kind of teams or the setup teams where you want to keep getting the health, I think it could be really vital. It just depends. Like, this Pokemon definitely in the right team could do really well.
Oh, 100%, yeah. And like Matcha Gotcha is like a pretty broken move. People forget, like, this thing.
That move is broken.
Yeah, you sit there just like spamming it, like after like you get out of Calm Mind, and like you're feeling really good about yourself, I think. And again, like, it feels like we're lacking like good like ghost types outside of like Golden Ghost, so having like a strong special attacking Shadow Ball is like probably a good thing. Could definitely see a world where that's good. Yeah, that's all you need. I like to try different mons. But that's it for like the Kitakami mons. We'll have a look here. This is the mons that were introduced, I believe, in the Blueberry Academy. I guess to start with here too, like the starter Pokemon. Do we think like Venusaur or Blastoise have like any niche at all? Like, I think Venusaur Sun probably is pretty good, right?
I think you'd rather want Lilligant.
That's true.
Lilligant also, yeah. But I think Sun plus like a Sleep Powder or like something like that could always do well.
Yeah.
I guess
the
it depends
only
what gets
problem
popular,
is I suppose you only have Torkoal and Ninetales. Is that right? Is there another one?
In terms of like drought setters, yeah, but like Wims and Murkrow are both pretty common Sunny Day mons as well.
Yeah.
Is there a world where Blastoise can click Shell Smash in this format? Probably not, right?
I'm sure someone dedicates a team, probably.
Dude, that's like, the answer is like Blastoise, Sinistra, like Comfey as well. That's
just
it.
don't play Rillaboom.
Don't go up against one. Terra Grass, maybe. It'll heal you up. That's all you want, right?
Yeah.
I mean, these mons are all probably pretty freaking bad. Do we think Buzz and Magma see any more players redirection mons?
Maybe.
Magma.
Magma definitely seems interesting.
Really good.
The only issue I have is it probably becomes like a Terra Hog, right? But
yeah, kind of.
But I don't know, like Terra Grass redirection's probably still pretty good, right? Into things like Palafin, Rillaboom, Dondozo. Like, I could definitely see a world where that's good.
Like, if you're getting the burn, like, that's probably worth it, I would say.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So...
I think the big thing with Magma is, do you run Magma over Volk as like a support?
Yeah, I guess that's the tricky thing, right? Well, I guess what does Magmar have? Like, Follow Me is obviously better.
Maybe
Grasp,
Bulkia, Follow
yeah.
Me. That's the main things I would say.
I don't think the Johto starters are any good. Do you think Kingdra is good in rain, or is there just there's probably just
give me
better like Arch,
Arch.
Basculegion, probably Palafin even is like a rain
Yeah.
sweep is probably better. Like I think I'd prefer
Yeah.
click Terra Water Jet Punch with Misty Water than whatever Kingdra can do. We touched on P2 earlier. Probably going to be like one of the premier Trick Room setters. What about Smeargle? Do you guys think Smeargle has a niche in the metagame? Like it's probably going to be good, right?
Jeez.
Like it's always going to be good. I think the Mons kit's just it's too good, right? Like we've seen the shenanigans where they pair it with like Bloodmoon in the current format. I can definitely see a world where like Min Speed Smeargle just like decorates a Bloodmoon Ursaluna and it just wins the game.
Yeah, I think definitely that would be something scary. Like having pretty much any move you want on this Pokemon just gives it a lot of opportunities to, be creative with it. So you could do like Decorate, you could do Fake Out plus like Wild Guard or Spore or whatever. So
yeah, it can always adapt. I think that's its main thing. Do we think Hitmontop sees like any play as a like a Fake Out Intimidator, or we just play Incin?
Incin.
Like it could. It depends how much fighting types are needed. Like if fighting types become more valuable, I could definitely see it being used. So
yeah, that's true. I see that. What about like the Hoenn starters? Of course I'll build a team with all these three, but I guess like do you guys have any thoughts on them? Am I gonna have to educate yous?
I think they're a bit tricky. Like you could definitely build a team around them, but I don't know if they're like the flag. Like
no. So
right now it's Rillaboom.
No. This is where you're wrong, right? Because who gives a shit about that when you upper hand your fucking Dragonite, whose weakness policy Terra Normal. It is just better Power Knight. Just upper hand, give it +2, start like smacking everything.
Right.
Okay.
That's the source. Grovyle, rest in peace. I wish I could play my Swamp Team right now, but I think without Kali Ice, it's probably bad. And Sceptile, there was one niche I was looking at. You're both gonna laugh at me for this, but it was like Sceptile, Skiptile. It was Dragon Cheer, right? Ready? Dragon Cheer.
Oh no.
Yeah. And then it's intelligent with Sniper, Snipe Shot, Terra Dragon.
Terra Dragon. Oh my god.
Is that guaranteed crit every time?
Yeah,
I think it is. Because this is high crit and then this is +2 as well. So it'll put you to +4, I think, which is guaranteed crit.
Yeah, +3, which is guaranteed.
Is high crit only +1?
It's just +1, yeah.
Oh,
but like at that point, isn't it just a worse Palafin? I don't know.
I don't know, dude. Sniper fucking Snipe Shot in like rain next to, because like these things. The issue is they're the same speed, right? So you have to go something like this, just like 244.
That's the issue.
Dude, I don't know. This looks scary to me, dude. Just get like any dragon.
The problem with it is you have to commit Terra. You're playing Inteleon, and then you have to click Dragon Cheer turn 1 or the turn you're committing.
Yeah.
Alright, stop laughing at me. I get it. I'm wrong.
It could work.
No, it's winning.
Try to build it for a local. Try that.
Yeah. I'll think about it. Yeah. What about like Metagross? I think this one's probably pretty good, right? One of the better Steel types. You're probably just running Golden Go, but it has Psychic Fangs now, right?
There's actually a lot of Steel types. There's King Gambit, Arch, Corv, Goldengo, Excadrill maybe.
I mean, Hisui and Goodry, yeah, dude. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Steel types are actually decent.
I think there's a lot. It's probably the best they've been.
Yeah, well, I mean, Steel types felt pretty bad, but like the thing is, it feels like we just lost all our Fire types. Like that's one of the main issues. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like H9's back, which is something we'll talk about shortly. But like when I look at this list, it's like like Charizard might actually be our best special attacking Fire type. I mean, maybe it's Armarouge actually, but.
Probably Armarouge, I think, is pretty good with a size spam.
Yeah, like I'm just looking at this now, dude. Like this is fucking rough, man. Like the Fire types look super.
And Volcarona actually.
Oh, actually, wait, yeah, hold on, that's our best one.
Yeah, you got Volk.
But yeah,
now Fire types are fine. If Incin's in the game and you're saying Fire types suck, then
I mean offensive Fire types. You know what I mean? Like, because like, is it running Blitz? Like maybe Blitz picks up again, but
no, you have to. You
Yeah.
have to. Amoonguss Rillaboom is gonna be so popular.
Like the
Yeah,
taunt or the
yeah.
willow probably drops off now.
Yeah,
and
you're
you
right,
just
you're
probably
right.
run Blitz, knock off, fake out, parting shot or something.
Yeah, why
Or you
Rillaboom
can run like Assault
before?
Vest with U-turn, something like that.
Yeah, I get it. I'm wrong. I apologize.
They probably run Berry again, to be honest, because now that your Berry won't be suppressed, you don't
Yeah,
need to
that's very true.
run Goggles. Like
Yeah, you
obviously you
gotta
still
run
want
Goggles.
Goggles, but you might commit like Terra Grass now instead of the safety Goggles. So
That's true, yeah, because if you're gonna commit Terra for Palafin anyway, might as well, right?
yeah.
That's true. Do we think Rhyperior sees any plays like a Trick Room one with like Clam or Weakness Policy? Probably not,
Well,
right?
you know the best thing about it? It has Lightning Rods to get rid of all the good electric types in the format.
Very true, very true. We can redirect all
Instead,
those
you're one
Miraidons.
electric type.
there's 0 electric types. What about PZ? I'm personally a huge fan of PZ. I will definitely try make it work. People told me it's just worse Bloodmoon Ursaluna. But I guess like, what do you guys think? Can I make P2 work in the format? It's like tied highest, strongest special attacker, but then it has adaptability. But like, it doesn't have Mind's Eye. Not Mind's Eye, Bloodmoon.
Like it could work. I don't know. I think right now Blood Moon is kind of the superior normal kind of special attacker, but obviously it's slow, so that is a bit faster. So that could,
Look,
have some sort of
and look, you put it next to Whimsicott. You play against a balanced team. You go like Fake Tears or something. Tailwind, Moonblast. It feels pretty good. Something like this maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm reaching here, but like this doesn't feel bad to me. Like obviously you're not clicking Hyper Beam. You're probably clicking like Tri Attack or like Terra Blast even.
I think you can literally just bring Ursaluna and click Tailwind and do the same thing though.
Yeah, you're probably right. Not gonna lie. What about Serp? I feel like Serp actually might be in a spot. Like I'm sure Jamie Boyd's gonna bring it at some point.
Like yeah, I guess like everything is usable. Like it just probably needs a team around her. So
yeah, like obviously it's gonna be interesting, and as we said, it looks like Haze is gonna be everywhere, and I definitely expect Boyd to at least like try it. It's probably gonna be the best it's probably been since its release in the generation, but like I don't know, like maybe there's a world where this thing's like a good grass type. But we'll have to like wait and see.
It's got a lot to compete with.
Yeah. I mean, Excadrill. Do we think Sand's good? Like, can we see a world where like T-Type plus Drill is like a good mon? A good core, I should say.
Like, why not? It could be good.
I actually don't know if it would be with Rillaboom and like Palafin. Like they're actually really good into it. So, and then the rain stuff, I think, beats it.
Rain's definitely the scary one for it. I do think Tita as a dark type looks pretty good. Like, I think dark is going to be pretty important.
Yeah, there's like good dark types.
And it may end up just being that, you're just playing like Tita alone. Because like I know in Reg B, I played like Tailwind Hyper Offense. I had like I think my OCIC team was like Flutter Bundle, Talon, Great Task. And I just had like a random Tyranitar on there because it fixed my Side Spam matchup. Like it just beat Side Spam. So I could definitely see a world where if Side Spam's good, like T-Tar is generally just a really slappable mon. But obviously it depends on the team, right? Like for my team at the time, I think AV T-Tar was really good. But yeah, like you look at this, right? Like it's grim, yeah. Hydreigon we think's probably going to be good. Gambit will be good, I think. T-Tar looks solid. Obviously Incin is like probably the king here. But like that's it. Like I don't think any of these other dark types are like that good. Like maybe Meowscarada's really good. That's probably the big question mark, I guess, is how good will it be?
But even something like Grimmsnarl could also be okay.
Like Grim will be
that's
decent.
The other fairy type that could be,
Like I think Grim will be a good mon, but realistically, is it clicking like a dark type move like the rest of these guys are? Like that's the thing, because it doesn't get knocked, does it?
I'm pretty sure.
No, it doesn't get knocked.
Oh no, it doesn't.
Get knocked. Yeah, it's like I don't know. To me,
play.
Yeah, I mean it clicks foul play, which I don't know. Maybe it's decent. Do we think Wims is like the best Tailwind setter now though?
Well, how important is Tailwind? That's what it kind of comes down to.
I'm playing Tailwind regardless, so it doesn't fucking matter. But look, you are right. Tailwind definitely doesn't. I think the thing with Tailwind right now is it doesn't feel like there's anything insane that abuses it, and I think that's one of the cool things about the current.
I also think that maybe just like a pseudo Trick Room might be more common than a random Tailwind. So I'm a bit.
Yeah, I think so.
That's
too.
why I don't know if Tailwind is actually that good. Because you might just see like everyone just has one random Trick Room Pokemon, like a Porygon-2 or like a Giraffe or something. I don't know.
Or Clops.
Yeah, or Clop, something like that. Which that tends to be like in other formats like this type of power level, that tend to be like a big kind of trend. Whether that is actually something that does eventuate is another story. But yeah, like obviously Murkrow was good as well in that original format. It was one of the
Crow's definitely going to be interesting. It's definitely something we'll touch on shortly. But yeah, I agree. I mean, look, in saying that, I guess Golden Go Tailwind is probably still really good, right? Just like Specs Golden Go, like Priority Haze, kind of just start nuking everything. You'd probably have, because you're going to get like what? You'd probably go Cloak on the you go in Cloak Crow. Plus, the other thing with Crow as well is we don't have Flutter Mane anymore. So like, what is leading that just frags Crow turn 1 now? Like, obviously he's not a bulky mon, but like
there's more fake out probably. That's
but you're playing Cloak anyway though.
Well, if you're playing Cloak, why aren't you playing Whims?
Because you don't have Priority Haze for your Golden Go.
Okay. I see.
Well, at that like point, we're really you're like pretty much dying to everything, right? You're not bulky anymore. You either make it bulky or you give it Sash. Wasn't that the whole?
Yeah, look, maybe you're right. Maybe I'm just. I guess yeah, because like in what Reg A, because like I can pull up some of these tournaments here again. Like I've got the results. Like what's clicking fake out here? Like we got Pormot clicking it. Hariyama's clicking it.
I remember there wasn't much.
I mean, Goth. Dude, actually, Goth is another one we'll need to talk about as well. Like having 2 top 8s here. Because I think this was the biggest event, right? It's like 500 players, yeah. So like Goth. Yeah, I mean, look, this looks pretty grim, right? Where now we have really Instant, which is just like the 2 best fake out mons in the game. So yeah, I don't know. Did Brady Smith top 16? Shout out the guy.
Yeah, the other thing that maybe we also forgot about is like some Pokemon that may have been used a different way. So something like Mousehold that used to be used as like a population bomb. So I don't know if that's something that could come back.
Yeah, so it's funny. I don't know if I put it in the Discord with you boys, but someone, I forget where I read it. I think it was someone in my Discord. Basically, like they were joking around, right? Because obviously coaching's in the game now, where coaching wasn't in the game day 1. And the original combo was your Mousehold would like beat up your ape. Now your ape can coaching your Mousehold. So now you can go Scarf Ape, coaching your fucking Mousehold, and then smack him with a +1 population bomb with Technician.
That's gonna be fun in Global Challenge.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's your best of one. You like they lead Mouse Ape, and you're sitting there like, fuck, is this a Scarf Ape with coaching, or is this like just beat up fucking like leftovers or goggles? So yeah, that's gonna be something to watch out for, because like again, like we have coaching now. Like it's a legit thing. So yeah, definitely something we're gonna have to look out for. I'll quickly like finish this list here as well, before we like take a proper look at those results, because we're like basically at the end. I guess like the last thing to touch on before the bottom is Spider. I think this mon may be one of our best Ursaluna answers in the game. Araquanid it's slower. Obviously it hits really hard thanks to Water Bubble. Its special defense stat is really good. So I could definitely see a world where does it get Wave Crash?
I think it's liquidation,
yeah,
right?
It's liquidation. Yeah. I could see a world where like this thing is your Bloodmoon Ursaluna answer. Like, you know, if you're that scared of Bloodmoon, like you've got this guy, he runs like what? You're probably running. Do you go Leech Life or do you pounce on this thing? Like
you go Leech Life.
I think Leech Life.
Yeah, it's like it's like that, and then probably just like what, like Wide Guard.
Is this slower than Bloodmoon?
I think it is. Yeah, it's slower. It's definitely slower. You can run Adamant and you're still slower. Does this thing get any other cool tech?
I'm pretty sure Bloodmoon's 52 base, right?
Yeah, it's 52 base. This thing's like 43 or something, right?
They sometimes run Wide Guard, Protect.
Yeah, I've got Wide Guard. Is it just Protect? Is that your last move?
Sometimes it had Substitute as well.
Yeah, you're probably going something like Protect, and you're going Clam or like what's it called? You're going like Clam or the Mystic Water, right? Probably
Mystic
something
Water,
like that.
Yeah.
And like this thing's so fat on the special end that like you're eating a Blood Moon and you're just like fragging it with Liquidation. So I mean that I think it has a niche definitely as like a Trick Room Water type. Do we think there's any like cool Comfey stuff we can see? Like probably not the weakness policy shit we used to. But like
I think it depends. I feel like those type of Pokemon become bigger when the Pokemon that you're healing is like even.
Yeah, it's like when you're like when you're healing like a Terapagos or something. Obviously, just like
it just becomes really annoying. So if there's a Pokemon like that I can't think on the top of my head, then it might be. But if you don't really have a Pokemon like that, it doesn't feel as impactful. So
yeah, I agree. And I guess the last two on the list here as well before we look at results. Obviously, we've spoken enough about Archaladon. Don't think we need to say too much. Obviously one of the major winners, I think. Archaladon Rain looks like it's going to be a massive nuisance. So definitely keep an eye out on that. But Hydrapple is another mod I think is pretty interesting because this, you know, kind of piggybacking off what we said about Araquanid is probably another pretty good answer with Assault Vest to Bloodmoon Ursaluna, right? Like it gets things like Leaf Storm. You know, it has Regenerator and it can underspeed it. It hits really hard. It's really bulky. You like slap an Assault Vest on it and this thing kind of just doesn't care. Like
What's the signature move again?
It's not Twin Beam, is it? Oh, like what is it?
Something like that.
it's the something
Fickle
beam, something beam.
Fickle Beam. What is it? Is it like 70? It's 80. Dude, 80 base power. That's kind of nutty to like have a move that like 30% of the time is just better than Draco Meteor.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
And
Like,
it's accurate.
yeah, like
and it's
Fickle
accurate.
Beam. It's also like slow Pollen Puff as well. So in like Trick Room teams, you can just like side Pollen Puff and heal your friends. Yeah, like I don't know. This seems kind of good to me. Definitely. I don't think it's gonna be topping the usage chart by any means, but I could definitely see a world where this thing's like good on the right team.
Oh, this is why you go Grass Knot for the Blood Moon.
Dude.
Sure, that thing's heavy, right?
I think
Oh,
yeah.
the format's
is it?
solved. It's over.
Yeah, dude. All right. We're not scared about this guy anymore, dude.
Actually, probably the Moongus might even run Grass Knot then, if that's the thing.
It's actually really true. Maybe there's a world where that's good. But yeah, look, we'll move on from this because we kind of like touched on everything here. There's like obviously there's still a lot of stuff we do need to talk about. I feel like there's like way too much to put in one fucking video is the issue here. But these are like some. I guess we'll look at these ones first. Actually, these are just like the Regulation A regionals. So I think we have 3 of them we can look at. I guess like looking at this, right? That's Jisok Lee's team. I don't think this really transitioned as the format developed. Like I think he just had a really good call for the very first event. Kind of dropped off. Obviously Chop across here with his Dondozan Meowscarada. I mean, we kind of touched on it as it is, but I guess, yeah, how good do you guys think Dondozan's going to be? Like, do we think this is going to be a meta-defining mon, or?
I think it's going to be very threatening, whether or not it has the results. It's kind of going to be one of those ones that do people try to counter it so hard, or do people use it?
I think you're going to have to counter it no matter what, right? Like, people are going to run it, and you're going to need counters.
I think it's going to be one of those cores that's going to be there, but not at like the top.
Yeah, that's fair enough. You know, we spoke a bit about Rain here. This kind of looks like what you were talking about before, right, Lewis? Except, you know, you said putting Archaladon in the Salamence slot.
Yeah.
You're probably swapping out Gambit for like Incin, and you're gonna have a fucking good time. Like this, yeah, like this here looks like it's gonna be one of the cores. Like at least this, you know, this core of 4 here, right? The Double Water, Gust, Golden Go, looks pretty solid. I guess Emilio's team as well is like worth talking about. Do we think Glimdozo, like as an extension as to what we said before, like that seems like it's going to be pretty scary again?
Yeah, like any of those 2-2-2 Dozo kind of teams are always scary when you're not prepared for them, because normally the other Pokemon are very strong into the ones that the Dozo can't handle. So your traditional answers are not necessarily alive when the Dozo comes on the field. So that's why I'm like, the Dozo teams are always scary. Like you can't underestimate them. They can easily just overwhelm you. Like,
dude, I'm looking at Lawsey's team here as well. Was he do we know, was he Justify on the? Nah, okay, he was Intimidate. I thought he was maybe Justify and then just like double beat it, but clearly not. But yeah, are there any like other like cool techs here we can look at? Like obviously, do we think Side Spam is going to be good? Like I'm sure this like core of 4 here or even 5 it's probably going to be pretty good, right? Like,
I think Side Spam will be good, but it has more competition for terrain removal.
Well, that's the thing. I think Rillaboom definitely.
That's the only thing. That's the only difference. Like in that format, there wasn't really anything else. I think Pincurchin is the only other one, but no one ran.
Yeah, so. I mean, if you're running Pincurchin, you actually just don't want to win. Like, dude, even if you build a team and have Pincurchin on it, you're probably not bringing it to the matchup. Let's be real. But I don't know, that's kind of it, I guess, for these teams. Like, the Kilowattrel Garchomp stuff is definitely interesting as well. I've seen a few people talk about that. Like, Kilowattrel is is it actually the better electric type? Like, it's either that or Rotom, right? And they both pair pretty well with Garchomp, which is probably going to be pretty solid. We also have some of these Reg A+ tours that the homie Ryan did share out earlier today. where we can get a bit of an idea. Like this team here, like Milotic plus Ninetales is probably pretty good. I could definitely see a world where like screens and Hypno and whatnot is like pretty broken, especially for like setting up some of these mons here. Are there any teams that like jump out to you guys? Like, are we seeing like some Toadscruel Wheezing shenanigans?
Like, I feel like Wheezing also could. You never know. Like, someone could come up with some shenanigans with Wheezing. It is always one of those interesting ones. Like, I was a big Wheezing fan, so I don't know. If
I
that's
mean, look,
something
the mon's good, man. The mon's good, that's for sure.
See if I come back to it, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean,
it's a good one. It's moves.
Yeah, like we have some other interesting teams here as well. Like we see like a superior rain team, but again, like there's like no water. There's actually no water type on this besides
Pelly.
Yeah. I guess speaking of Comfey as well, the guys probably fucking annihilate, right? Like that thing's got a really fat HP pool, so like healing that up is probably gonna be a bit scary.
Yeah,
not to mention, I'm pretty sure does floral healing work the same way as Pollen Puff does, where it gives you a stack?
I'm not sure.
What do you mean?
Because if you side Pollen Puff, you get a boost to Rage Fist. Yeah.
No,
dude, this is my team right here, dude. Fucking Talonflame, Bloodmoon, Hisuian Arcanine. It's got my name written all over it.
Don't they have the random fish?
I mean, that's not a random fish, dude. That's the
someone lost to that at Worlds.
I know. I can't always call it random
fish. This is I'm protecting my Talonflame. Right, this is my Talonflame's getting up his Tailwind here, and and you can't do anything about it. But they can't fake out to break you though. That's the thing, man. You're thinking too small brain here, Lewis. But dude, we're seeing a bit more what's it called, sand here. Like I feel like we saw a team pretty similar to this, where it was like sand plus Primarina. Didn't Michael Zhang or something run like a T-Tar? Yeah, he's got Komoa on this team as well.
That's what, Michael Zhang used.
Yeah, because this team here actually looks pretty sick. Like, I really like the look of this. I'm probably dropping Electabuzz personally and, like, maybe just slapping, like, a Rillaboom on it. But, yeah, I don't know. This looks pretty good. Even, like, a Gussie as well, and that looks pretty decent. This is, like, one of those teams we were talking about earlier as well, like the Insyn P2 shenanigans with, like, Gus, like, next to Komodo.
Yeah.
And then they've just got the rain mode on it. They're like, hey, I've got this, like, core to buff up my Komodo. And then Palafin also kind of goes burrow, right? We got redirection, we got rain, we got, like, fake out pivoting. It's like pretty decent. And then like anything interesting here, like we've seen this as well before, right? Where the mouse plus Golden Go is also really good. Because like you can just go like this is specs. But we saw in the past as well where you had like bulk up plus plot, and it was like, what are they gonna lead? Are they gonna lead, like the plot Golden Go, or are they gonna lead the bulk up ape? And then we can kind of go from there and kind of mess shit up. But I will say, I'm noticing a lot of Talonflame here, which is actually pretty exciting. It is one of my preferred Tailwind setters, so it's cool to see that get some play. But yeah, I guess before we wrap it up, is there any other, like, any mons in particular you guys think we need to talk about here? Like some really good mons that we kind of haven't touched on yet?
I can't really think of any. Maybe Corv. Have we talked about Corv at all?
Not really. Definitely one of the better steel types. Is there anything in particular I think Corviknight does that we need to mention, or do you just think like bulk up plus like steel flying is good?
It's just good.
Body press line defense or bulk up.
Probably has a decent matchup into Luna as well, right? Like I'm sure it can, if you build it right, it probably eats some Blood Moons and like deals a lot of damage in return, can roost up.
I think it still takes 50% actually.
I reckon it takes too much. That thing is like scary.
Don't tell me that. I'm pulling up a pulling up a damage calc on the side here. VGC damage calc.
The problem with Bloodmoon Ursaluna, your traditional like walls are not really a wall anymore. So that's because you would think, oh yeah, I'm a ghost type. I can just wall your normal moves.
Nah. You need Wheezing for that. That's why you go Terra Ghost Air Balloon Wheezing. That's
the only hard answer.
All right. Look, so max HP still takes like 50 to 60 from Blood Moon, and if you click Terra, it actually takes 66 to 78. That's fucked. Dude, what a Pokemon, man. Holy shit.
Yeah. I think that's like a restricted now. So that's, I feel like if you build that right, that's going to be really hard to deal with.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think Blood Moon Ursaluna is probably day one biggest threat. I think we could probably all agree on, right? Like that's probably the mon I think a lot of people are looking at and saying, at least both Ursaluna forms as well. Like I think the regular Ursaluna is also looking really good. I'm sure there's going to be a world where I play like Talonflame Ursaluna and I'm like jolly max speed with Flame Orb. I'm looking to Lewis, you might know this. Is there a world where I ever fucking one tap a is my Talonflame ever one tapping a Rillaboom?
I don't think it I don't think it does. I don't think you can kill it
So
with
what if I'm like 252 adamant versus like max HP? Apparently I'm doing like, okay, there's a chance. If I go Sharp Beak, it's probably a done deal, right? Yeah, so adamant 252 Sharp Beak beats max HP Rillaboom, which is something to keep in mind. You can play like Talonflame plus like Brockshish or something, or Giraffe.
Yeah, just hope they don't switch into Insyn.
Exactly.
Yeah, dude, no, that's why I've got my Clear Amulet Brockshish next to it. You don't understand, dude.
So then you just go for the water move as well.
Brockshish, Attacker, and we're going what's it called? Insyn. What's it? Does Brockshish get Wave Crash, or am I just clicking Liquidation?
I don't know.
I think it gets Wave Crash.
Yeah, it does, dude. All right, let's look at this. So my Clear Amulet Wave Crash. Oh yeah, dude, that's so fucking good. Oh, wait, hold on. Actually, I've got Intimidate on.
Wait, what?
Yeah, no, dude, I'm fragging. Max HP, I'm fragging you. You need defensive investment.
Good thing no Insyn runs defense EVs.
Yeah, no, hold on. How much do you need to actually like live this? So if you want to guarantee live this, you need to be basically max. It's 244, 216 to always live my Wave Crash. What if I'm Terra Water, dude? Oh, dude?
I feel like you've just forgotten Follow Me. Like,
Nah,
I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, but you're not clicking Follow Me, pivot in your Insyn, dude. That's fucking throwing, man. Nah, Terra Water always frags, dude. Bruckshish, Talonflame, you heard it here first, boys. That's the fucking
video
source.
is never ending.
Dude, it's not. We'll wrap it up, yeah?
Rocky Hammer Mouse Hold with Follow Me.
I said an hour, and we're like just under an hour, I think. All right, wrap it up. Tell me.
I don't
This is
think
it.
we are.
You've got like 30 seconds left, boys. Tell me who are we missing here? Like we're gonna end it now.
Basket Legion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Legion.
did we talk about Basket Legion? Maybe not.
Yeah, we didn't, dude. All right, Swift Swim, last respects. It's broken, dude.
Yeah, I
Good
think
mod.
that could be a really good Swift Swim user. And
mean-
you could even do adaptability as well. So
Yeah, I mean, adaptability Scarf as well is pretty good, even on rain teams, I think, right? Just run something like this. Bang, that's your guy right there. Flip turn as well. That's a guy right there. Anything else? Go. Speed run. We seeing anything cool here?
was there any other history ones we missed? I can't remember.
I mean, Arcanine and Bloodmoon are probably the only good ones, and Lilligant as well, which we touched on. We spoke about the intelligent tech as well. I probably shouldn't have leaked that. That's like my world strat for next year.
in a format that doesn't exist.
Or dual restricted worlds
Yeah.
format. You're gonna bring in Talion.
Yeah, dude, exactly.
Oh,
Dude, you're all pulling up with your fucking Callies like fucking beta males. I'm pulling up with like my fucking my Sceptile intelligent, and I'm one tapping you.
Is that your dual restricted combo?
Yeah, dude, that's it.
Yeah,
I'm running intelligent Sceptile with like the Rillaboom, Insyn, Amoonguss core. Maybe an Urshi on there as well.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, dude.
Very creative.
Yeah, it's
Mandy Buzz, I guess. Was that in the game?
it was DLC 2, I think.
It could be like a support
Maybe.
Trick Room, no Tailwind, sorry, Pokemon.
Dude, I actually think Hisuian Zoroark might be the source as well. I feel like it has a good matchup into some things. We'll have to wait and see though.
I think
I
Mousei
don't
definitely is
want
good,
that
but
to
I don't
be
know
good.
what else that's about.
If that thing's good, it's gonna be so annoying.
Yeah, it will be so annoying.
I mean, look, it's gonna be a Sash one, right? It's just like Urshi no longer exists. It's good into Mousei. That's kind of it, yeah. I don't actually know what else it does.
What does it do into Bloodmoon? I don't know.
Into Bloodmoon, it can't do
Just
anything,
pretend
right?
to be Bloodmoon.
Oh, it does Snarl. Does that have Snarl, right?
No, you spam Hyper Voice with your Zoroark to pretend to be your Bloodmoon in the back.
Wait, hold
Oh,
on.
you pretend to be the Bloodmoon. Oh my god.
Hyper
Just
voice.
lead it.
Yeah, dude, that's the source. Get it out.
But doesn't it just Bloodmoon you?
Wait, hold on. I actually just thought of this. You're all talking about how good Bloodmoon Ursaluna is. I have the source, boys.
Oh my god.
This is how we're ending the video, by the way. This is how we're ending the video.
That's
Smeargle
one
with
way to
the hard.
That's it, dude.
Bloodmoon.
This is it. I broke the metagame. Everyone's out here complaining about this piece. Dude, look at this. You're telling me that's not broken right there? Look at that, man.
Wait, calc that into Corviknight.
Alright,
Paranormal as
dude,
well.
dude, dude.
Paranormal.
Yeah, of course. All right, let's go.
Paranormal It's choice specs. I mean, you got a choice specs in prison, you know.
Nah, we're going life orb. We're going life orb here. Don't get too fucking
Oh my
silly,
God.
boys.
I
Like,
think
Life orb, modest, 252, blood moon.
Put a 10-hit KO into Corv if we're lucky.
Blood moon, terra normal. All right, what's the? Give me your percentages before we end this.
I reckon like 25.
You reckon 25?
I don't think 25.
I actually think
Wait.
you're gonna be fucking shocked at this. Holy crap! It
Is
actually
it a lot
doesn't
more or a
work.
lot less? I
I
don't
think
know.
it's doing 5%.
Can you boys see this?
Wait, is that 50?
Oh my
No.
god, dude, that's blood moon.
That's
Wait, what?
Dude, I'm out here thinking, holy shit, 50%.
Ogre pod. That's
There's
Ogre
no
pod.
way.
Wait. Don't show us. We need to guess.
I said
We gotta
25.
guess. We got
Legit.
We got to guess.
Alright,
I said
shit.
yeah,
Sorry,
I'm-
I'm absolutely shocked. Okay, it's nowhere near as much as I thought it was. I
What
also
do you reckon it was?
I think 5%.
5? No.
put some respect on it, dude. Come on.
I
Okay,
reckon
5,
25.
7,
20 to 25 probably.
Lukey, you shouldn't have said 20, mate. You're on there. You're on the fucking ball with this
Wha-
one. So,
20, it is
Lewis,
25.
after
25 to 30,
leftovers, we're a 1% chance at a 4-hit KO.
Wait, but it's not even gonna be a 4-hit KO because it just protects, heals up.
But you
And
can't
they-
use it in a
Wait,
row anyway.
You're also just getting one tap by fucking zero. Sorry, that's a lot of investment. But you
You
just get one
can't
tap by
run
Brainbird.
specs blood moon anyway because it can't.
No,
work.
get
We're
Moody
life
boost.
orb. We're life orb. We're life orb.
okay,
boys.
okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
we're lob. Yeah. We're not that crazy. We're not that crazy.
Oh my
Alright,
god.
but anyway,
why is it-
that's how we're finishing it, boys. Anything else before I end this video? You got about 20 seconds.
I guess Bloodmoon Smeargle is for play. I don't know.
Yeah, dude, Blood Moon. I think this is it. This is the
Wait,
source.
I'll get into Incin
Ooh,
now.
wrong
Let's
one.
see.
Dude, I said you had 20 seconds, man.
Wait, just Calg. I gotta see now.
Into Incid.
I mean, that's a two-shot.
Oh my god. What?
50%.
I do. But you gotta remember though, we're Earth Power, man. We're Earth Power as well.
There's no way
Oh
Earth Power kills it. It
God.
does less.
Wait, but you're all forgetting Moody though. Like, what if we?
Yeah, that's.
Oh my god, we got Moody plus
Yeah,
2.
dude. What if I get my +2 special attack? Look at I'm bragging, man. I'm bragging. It's Terra Normal Blood Moon at +2.
Show how busted Bloodmoon is. I don't know what does. If Smeargle can deal 50% to an Incin.
Dude, I'm Terra Normal Life Form Modest.
Yeah, but guess what? Ursaluna is 252 Terra Normal Bloodmoon, and guess what? That thing does even more.
Yeah, it probably one-shots it.
Yeah, easy.
That's what
That's so dumb.
we
Yeah.
know. Like,
Dude,
unless
what-
it runs
like,
full
dude,
special
imagine this is the
No,
end game
it doesn't-
scenario here, though, boys.
Nah. With a +2 is more realistic, and it actually kills.
But like, the question is, do you like drop like Hyper Voice or like Earth Power, and then put like Trick Room on this, and then you just
this. Oh, use Trick Room. It's self-sufficient.
no, like
Wait, you support the Smeargle. You Trick
Mm.
Room with your own Smeargle, so you get a Moody proc.
mm-hmm.
You pray,
then
you
you get
get
the
the special
speed.
attack, and then you helping hand your Smeargle. Oh my god, with your Blood Moon. Does Blood Moon
Actually,
get a
dude,
helping hand?
we didn't
Wait, Trick Room on Smeargle is actually good.
It probably is, yeah.
Wait.
Oh wait, that's Friend Guard. Dude, helping hand damage. Dude, I love the last. Dude, look at this, man. +6.
That's +6.
Where
Yeah,
are you
it's
getting
+6.
+6 from?
The Moody.
Hold
Is
on.
it Decorate just better at this
Wait,
point?
wait,
Like,
wait,
your
wait.
actual Blood
Does
Moon?
that
Like, I don't understand.
I mean, I don't mind it. That's the source. All right, that's how we're ending it. Do you guys have anything else to say?
No,
I think that's it.
I'm winning worlds with this.
Yeah, well, you're welcome, Lewis. We'll catch you.
This is my world's
Bye.
team now. Okay.